Right.
And it sounds like it's about 7 or 8 bets. In the book, he was like, all of them should come through. Shouldn't be no issue. So it's almost like he's wrapping up everything before he leaves, because he definitely is planning to leave.
He's definitely planning to leave town.
Yeah, but he needs that cash first. So he already got a little bit of cash from Marcellus, but then that extra cash is coming from what he did in the fight, and then I guess his plan is just to skirt with his lady and start a family and move on with their life. But what happens is, and this is big, the next morning he's looking for the watch. The watch isn't there. He goes ballistic on his girlfriend. Something that you wouldn't have thought after they didn't made love. They showed his lovey-dovey and stuff. And he just went all, he called her idiot or something like retarded. He called her retarded and stuff like that. He started throwing stuff and had her in the corner balled up. Like, I don't think she's ever saw that side of Butch. Do you think?
I don't think she saw that side.
She never saw that side of him. She knew he was a boxer. And he had some violence in him, but not towards her.
Right.
And this is the first time he lost. He totally lost it. And once again, it's because of how important that watch was.
Right.
It just wasn't a regular watch. And I don't even think she understood how important it was until he blew up like that. You know what I'm saying? Because he even said, I don't care what you would have done with everything else in this room. That watch, I told you what to do. I told you where to get it and to bring it. So he was really kind of, and even when he got in the car to go retrieve the watch.
I told you not to forget that watch.
He was still talking a little bit of mess about his girlfriend.
Right.
Like, how could she be that stupid and stuff like that? And so the watch meant a lot to him. It was his father's watch. And like he said, you know, a lot of people had to suffer and die to keep that watch, you know, in the family. So it really meant a lot to him. So he goes back home, which is the dumbest thing you can do when, you know, the mob is looking for you. But he wants that watch.
Right.
And just like a smart guy Marcellus would have, he had one of the henchmen, Vincent, waiting at his house for him. But Vincent, which I thought he was way smarter than this, but apparently he wasn't. He leaves the Uzi on the kitchen counter to go use the bathroom.
Right.
So when Butch comes in, clearly he just grabs the Uzi. Vince comes out. That's the end of Vince right there. That was always a weird scene to me because I'm like, if you would have just took it in there with you, you'd still be alive. You left it on the counter. Like, if you expect him to come back home, don't leave the gun right there. If that's what you're expecting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, the dichotomy between their characters is really deep, though. It's really deep between Jules and his character. The differences there are very deep.
Yeah.
And Quentin does some things with those characters that you can see. It's more than even John Travolta's character being aloof. He's aloof through the entire film.
He is.
There's points where they point out going to the car. I think he's putting on his safety. Vince isn't. There's various different things that you see in the film where it's kind of like you can tell that Vincent is not really fully aware of some of the things that he should be aware of in his line of business. Correct. And there's sort of like this underlying aspect of the film that nobody really talks about. What it would be like if Jules' character wasn't there to support Vincent's character, because Jules is always sort of that sounding board that's paying attention to observing everything, looking at everything in the room, everyone in the room. He's the most talkative person in the room. He's the most methodical in the room. You see that everywhere, even in the restaurant, right? This is the one thing I want to point out about this scene that I notice a lot of people don't see. This is the one time you really see Vincent in the movie where Jules isn't there. Really think about that, where Jules is not there. And when he's with Uma and Jules isn't there, he does the same thing. A lot of his decisions when he's not working and he's just on his own and he's making certain choices and certain decisions, they're not great decisions.
He makes mistakes.
He makes a lot of mistakes, actually.
Right.
And we see that through the course of almost the entire film. So I'm not surprised that his character leaves this gun, in the kitchen while he's in the bathroom.
Normally Jews would have been like, what the hell are you doing?
Don't. Exactly. You gotta go take, pee while we're here to, it would be a whole conversation.
It would be a whole
conversation. You know what I'm saying? And that's something Jules would never do.
Ever.
Leave his weapon behind? Never.
Wouldn't
right?
happen.
But I think that's the clear juxtaposition between their characters that Quentin sort of like, he does it. It's sort of, it's not overt, like you don't notice it in everything, but I see little pieces of, different scenes of this film where you can see when Vincent's on his own and he's left like to his own devices, he's just very aloof and he's not aware of his surroundings and not aware of certain types of conversations. We can get deeper into that, but he even does it with Jimmy. If you really think about it, right?
Yeah.
He does it with Harvey, right?
Yep.
So there's this running theme with Vincent that we see in the movie that, like, again, a lot of people don't talk about this, but that's something that I definitely noticed between the two characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The more I think about that scene with Butch killing Vincent, I think he killed him over whatever happened in the past.
Absolutely.
And when that bar incident happened, they almost got into it. I think it came down to that. Because remember, they looked at each other for a couple of seconds.
Absolutely.
And it was almost without Butch saying it, it was almost like, remember that shit you was talking at the bar?
Yeah. It was like a showdown, but he didn't have a gun to fire back.
He didn't have a gun to fire back. But the look in his eyes was like, I could let you go.
But I'm not.
That shit at the bar? Remember you was talking all that at the bar?
Definitely.
You're going to have to catch these. Because technically, he could have tied him up, knocked him out, tied him up. You got the gun. You could have done anything you want to. He killed Vincent. And that was personal. I feel like that was personal.
I feel like it was personal too.
Whatever they had in the past, it was serious. And whatever was supposed to happen at that bar scene, he cleared it up right there.
No, I agree with that.
He cleared it up right there.
There was definitely animosity between those two characters for sure.
And that pause before he shot him lets you know there was some animosity. I could let you leave or live. We're going to just get rid of you right now because you are a thorn in my side at this point. So he essentially kills Vincent. He gets back in his car. His little, look like he had a Pinto or something like that. It was something very small. But now he retrieved his watch, which is important. He did get his watch back. So all this, it wasn't for nothing. He got his watch back. He kills Vincent. He gets back in his car. And as big as LA is, as huge as the city of LA is, he drives down the street and runs into Marcellus, walking with donuts or something in his hand, crossing the street. I was like, only Quentin would draw up this scenario. This would never happen in real life.
Put him right at the crossroad.
Right there.
Yeah.
Marcellus, look.
Yeah.